What is the purpose of the MsSA?
Well, we represent other students, and by making sure that they have a better time at university than they would normally have.
As architects, I think we feel like we've got a totally different workload and style of working to any of the course, so I think the society runs as different at the same time.
Do a lot of architecture students know who you are and engage?
No. However, I suppose the last event that was in town seemed to get loads of people in, and that seemed to have sparked quite a buzz. And I think, have you guys had more people coming in into the tuck shop and things like that?
Yeah, actually lately there's been quite a lot of people coming into the tuck shop. I think slowly voice is spreading about it, and it can get quite busy.
Yeah.
But I think it's the small techniques that help us, you know, become better known within the schools. Stuff like the tuck shop or like selling mugs or t-shirts is what gets people's attention. And then the bigger events like Before You're 30, this lecture series also got us some good advertising, I think, but there's still a lot of people that don't know what the MsSA is. Hopefully that will change soon.
How do lecturers and tutors see you?
Well, I think they think we just spend all our time in this office, like all the time.
But do they appreciate the work you're doing?
Those that know what we're doing, I think, really appreciate us. There's some of the main staff are really behind us and really support us.
And it's always nice doing something outside of uni that's still kind of related to architecture, but not as serious as university work. So adding that social aspect, I guess, as well, is what we're really kind of trying to do more of.
Yeah, I suppose trying to build up that studio culture again and make it easier for people to have a conversation within the studio instead of kind of just going to wherever you want to work and then just sitting down quiet for an hour. It's about getting people to recognise the people when they're walking through the studio so they can have a chat, and you know, if there's a fifth year in there that second year knows, then they're more likely to have a chat about their work and bridging that gap.
Now, philosophically speaking, why is it actually important for architecture students to team up or to get to know each other?
Well, because we can't all fight each other off. I mean, there are too many of us, but we're gonna, as a profession in the future, I think we're gonna need to work together a bit more. Stop voting for ourselves in Vanity Fair and things like that. And I think it's important that people make these connections and relationships now, because in the future they're probably going to come back around and someone will be there to help you when you need it.
Yeah, and it's also important because architecture is not like other science or engineering courses where you have to learn a specific set of things and there's always a right or wrong. It's a lot of it is kind of personal opinion and, you know, design and just ideas. So by interacting, I guess you get a lot of ideas and you get a lot of help from people, and you just get reassurance whether you're doing, if people like what you're doing or they don't like what you're doing. So it kind of, you just can't do it on your own. It's one of those professions that you just can't, you know, be an office on your own and just do everything right. You know, something's always going to go wrong if you're on your own. And
also, if you're working with a group of people in different years, you just kind of keep in touch with what's happening in the rest of the school. And you remember our third year project, maybe it sparks some, you know, extra ideas and what the kind of stuff that we're doing now. Likewise, people in undergrad might see what, you know, postgrad is like. So it's good to know what's going on and, you know, outside of your own year.
What's a typical image of an architecture student in Manchester? Do you know what other students think of architecture students? Is there a cliché image?
There's a few cliché images. I think we're completely bonkers. Yeah. They think we don't get any sleep, which is true. All the stereotypes are probably true.
Yeah.
I wish we had the time to talk with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes of the year we're like little cretins, model making in our little holes.
I've always found that, well, in first year, when I made all my friends in halls, most of my friends were people from halls rather than architecture students, And that changed gradually all the way till third year, where this proportion was completely inverted, and all my friends who were architecture students had lost contact completely with anybody from halls, because it's just, you know, kind of the natural selection of friendship, because those are the people that you spend your time with all the time in the studio. And I think the only thing that saved me was living with a few people that weren't architects, who kept me sane and kept me in contact with what was actually going on in the real world. So
yeah. But then again though, you do get really close with a lot of the people on the course, because you're spending so much time in the studio. Because I think we've experienced, or from some houses, they don't have that studio culture in their course. So the people that they know and that they're friendly with are only the people that they live with. So they don't know many people outside of the house that they live with, and because they don't have the studio culture in their course, they don't, they don't know as many people around the city. Whereas I think a lot of architecture students, because we're so close with everybody within the studio, and everyone lives in so many different places around the city, we've got loads of friends around in so many different houses, and I think there's always somebody that you can go to. And
I think it's fair to say we get around as well. In the first week, you're told to go out and explore the city, get off the main Oxford Road that people are going to and from every day. We're going around looking at the dodgy areas, doing a few sketches. And then of course we've got our study trips as well, which my housemates tend to refer to as glorified holidays. But we are getting out there and seeing the world.
I think that's one really good thing about being an architecture student, is that you get to know everybody on your course. And in other subjects, because they have such a different, they have every lecture they have with different people, so they don't always see the same faces, which can be a positive thing, but at the same time is a negative, because it means you get to know people less. Whereas we've become kind of somewhat of a family because of the fact that we spend so much time together. But it's good because you create connections.
Yeah, it's nice knowing everyone.
Yeah, quite strong friendships have been formed over the past 5 years for us. So
yeah.
You feel each other's pain as well. I think because there seems to be a lot of pain and emotion within architecture, and you experience that with people. It kind of that makes you a bit closer as well, I suppose. So.
Perfect. That's it.